18-year-old Serena Hale lived in a small one-room apartment on the east side of Philadelphia. The walls were thin, the neighbors argued often, the sink rattled every time she turned it on. But Serena had learned to survive noise. She grew up in it, both around her and inside her. Her mother, a housekeeper for a nearby motel, worked double shifts. Her younger sister, Joy, only 10, looked up to Serena like she was the only stable pillar in a shaking world. There were days when the electricity flickered, days when dinner was ramen noodles split between 3 bowls, days when Serena lay awake at night wondering how a girl like her, with nothing but determination, could change her family's fate. Still, every morning she whispered to herself, "You will rise. You were built to rise." She'd say it until she believed it. Some days, she almost did. To support her family, Serena took a cleaning job in one of the wealthiest neighborhoods in the city, Ridge Street. Her main client was the Kensley family. Their house was enormous, gleaming floors, spotless countertops, chandeliers shaped like falling stars. The type of home Serena only saw on TV. She cleaned silently, quickly, respectfully. She didn't touch what she didn't need to. She didn't speak unless spoken to. Mrs. Kensley, fragile and sharp-tongued, loved control. Mr. Kensley was busy and distant. Their teenage daughter, Brooke, pretended Serena didn't exist. But the youngest, Noah, age 8, was different. He would follow her around, asking innocent questions. "Why do you clean so fast? Do you get tired? Do you want to do something else?" Serena always smiled gently. One day, Noah, one day. She didn't know what that something else was yet. She just felt it pulling at her heart like a soft thread. One afternoon, while Serena was on her knees, scrubbing the marble floors, Brooke walked in with 2 of her friends. They saw her working quietly. They whispered, they giggled, and Serena recognized that kind of laughter, the kind meant to make someone feel beneath them. Brooke smirked. "You missed a spot," she said, pointing at a clean tile. Her friends laughed harder. Serena swallowed the hurt in her throat, the sting in her eyes, the shaking in her hands. She finished the job with dignity, then went home and cried silently in the shower, where no one could hear her break. That night, her mother came home, late, exhausted, but saw the redness around Serena's eyes. She didn't ask what happened. She just held her daughter close and whispered, "Baby, don't let this world convince you that you're small." Serena held on to those words like a lifeline. 3 weeks later, tragedy struck. Serena found her mother unconscious on the kitchen floor. Joy screamed her name. Serena called 911 with shaking hands. Hospital lights flashed. Doctors rushed. Machines beeped. Her mother was diagnosed with severe heart failure. The doctors explained that the stress, the overworking, the double shifts, it all pushed her body past the limit. Serena's world fell apart. She wanted to scream. She wanted to disappear, but she couldn't. Joy needed her. Her mother needed her. Her responsibilities doubled overnight. Bills stacked. Medication costs rose. The weight of the world landed squarely on her shoulders. She took more shifts, woke earlier, slept less, ate whatever she could grab between buses. But even then, it wasn't enough. One cold evening, Serena arrived late at the Kensley house, exhausted, dizzy, barely able to breathe. Brooke saw her stumble and whispered to her mother, "Why do we keep her? She can't even show up on time." Serena pretended not to hear, but those words stabbed deeper than any physical wound. She washed dishes with trembling hands. She wiped her eyes when no one was looking. At one point, she stepped outside onto the back porch, leaned against the wall, and finally allowed herself to collapse into tears. She cried like she was releasing years of quiet pain, all the insults, all the exhaustion, all the fear of losing her mother, all the weight of being the only glue holding her family together. She cried until she couldn't breathe, until her legs went weak, until her heart ached physically. What she didn't know was someone was watching. Noah. He stood quietly, unsure whether to speak, his small face full of empathy. "Serena, are you hurt?" She wiped her tears quickly. "No, I'm okay. I just need a minute." He stepped closer and placed a little hand on her arm. "My teacher says strong people cry too." Serena felt another wave of tears rise, but this time they didn't hurt the same. The next morning, she was called to the Kensleys' living room. She braced herself, expecting to be fired, but instead, Mrs. Kensley looked strangely emotional. "Noah told us what happened last night," she said quietly. Serena's cheeks burned with embarrassment. Mrs. Kensley continued, "Serena, why didn't you tell us your mother was sick?" Serena hesitated. "You hired me to clean your house, not bring my problems with me." Mr. Kensley spoke gently. "Sometimes people need help more than they need pride." Serena looked down. She didn't know how to respond. The couple exchanged a glance. Then Mrs. Kensley stepped forward. "We want to help pay for your mother's treatment." Serena froze. "What? Why? You don't have to—" "We know," Mr. Kensley said, "but it's the right thing to do." Brooke, standing in the back, lowered her head in shame. She whispered, barely audible, "I'm sorry for how I treated you." Serena didn't trust her voice enough to speak. She simply nodded. For the first time in her life, she felt seen. With the Kensleys' financial support, Serena's mother received proper care. She improved slowly. The fear of losing her loosened its grip. But that wasn't all. One day, Mrs. Kensley said, "I've been watching you. You're patient, responsible, kind. If you want, I can help you apply for a scholarship program." Serena's eyes widened. "What kind of program?" "A social work scholarship," Mrs. Kensley said warmly. "You'd be perfect for it. You've lived the life of someone who understands struggle deeply." Serena's heart fluttered with something she hadn't felt in years. Hope. She applied. She waited. She prayed. And then she was accepted. Serena worked part-time while studying. She stayed up late doing assignments. She took care of Joy. She visited her mother every day at the clinic. Her life didn't magically become easy, but something inside her changed. Her purpose, her direction, her strength, her story. She graduated top of her class in social work. The auditorium erupted in applause as she walked across the stage. Her mother cried. Joy jumped up and down. Even the Kensleys attended, Noah waving proudly from the crowd. Serena stood there, a black girl from a broken home, with scars, stories, survival stitched into her soul, and whispered to herself, "You refuse to break, and now look how far you've come." Years later, Serena became a caseworker helping struggling families across the city, families who reminded her of her childhood, kids who reminded her of Joy, mothers who reminded her of her own mother, fighting with everything they had. People trusted her, because she didn't speak from sympathy, she spoke from experience. One afternoon after work, she walked past the old Kensley house. It wasn't her workplace anymore. It was a memory, a stepping stone, a chapter she survived. She smiled softly and whispered, "Thank you, even for the pain." Because without those painful chapters, she would never have discovered the power she carried. Moral of the story: life may bend you, but it cannot break you unless you allow it. If this story touched your heart, please subscribe. Your support helps us share more powerful stories like this.